Greetings, ACTIVZ. Welcome to the August Founders Call, Founders Zoom. I'm joined here by David Brown, and we're happy to be here with all of you. Happy August. If you're watching this live, you're watching it today, the 15th of August, and we're off to a great month. It's here in the United States, it's the last month of summer, and we're feeling some of the changes. We've got some of us have kids going back to school, as I know many of you do. And so it is certainly a month of change, but we're excited because it's always a great month for us as a company. We had a really exciting July, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. And for those of you who are watching this for the first time, what we like to do is talk a little bit about our high points for the last month and what's coming just down the road to give you a glimpse of what's around the corner. So David, hello, greetings.
Hey, Ryan.
Happy August. Hope you're having a great month so far. Talk to us. What are some of the things you're excited about? And maybe let's start with July and look backwards a little bit.
Well, July was actually a really interesting month. Interesting because we had our one of a kind, maybe never exactly to be repeated event in Salt Lake City. And that was where we had our Spanish speakers, mostly from the US, but also some that came all the way up from various parts of Mexico, and also English speakers in the US come and have an in-person event in Salt Lake City. We did, and this is the part that we might not do again, having them back to back, because I think it was pretty tough. But it was, I mean, it was hard on the one hand, but it was really awesome on the other. It was really great, number one, to just be back together again. And, you know, even though some of the restrictions regarding COVID have been lifted in many places, it's still not back to normal, as everyone knows. And so we haven't had the same opportunities to get together and get to know each other and look each other in the eye and give people hugs and congratulate them in person for the successes that they've achieved, the obstacles they've overcome. And so that was a remarkable event. And I think that kind of set the stage during the summer. You know, July to me is sometimes really the dog days of summer. It's hot, it seems like it's slow. You know, for people like me, we're looking forward to football season and can't wait for baseball season to get over, all those type of things. And so it certainly was a high point in July. What did you think about that event?
Well, I agree. It was when we talk about the dog days of summer, it really was. We had some hot days here where I live in California. I know Utah had some really hot days. As a matter of fact, that day when we were when we were all at the headquarters in Utah, I flew in and I couldn't believe how hot Utah was. It was like a day, it was at least 100 degrees out and very humid. And so not what many of us expected. But that said, there was also the heat of getting back together, you know, with our distributors was phenomenal. I really loved the experience. I think for all of you who were there with us, will also agree with us that it was a great event. We hope that you've taken back to your cities and your states some of the feelings that you had, some of the magic that was shared from the presenters and the speakers, and are continuing to build your ACTIVZ businesses. You know, the highlight for me, David, really was Friday evening when we all got together and we had all of our Spanish speakers and English speakers together for the first time. That little mixer was fun. It was really great, just being in there and seeing everybody getting to know each other, right? Because we often hear stories of different people, different teams, different groups, and hear of their successes. But because of language barriers, there's not a lot of cross-pollination that takes place. And so the reason why we did that, as you'll know and recall, was so that we could to give people an opportunity to just meet each other, right? We did have all of our A16s here. We had Christina Godoy, we had Martin Lita who traveled up from Mexico, and his wife, Susana Ortega, who's an A12. And it was great to have them there at the mixer. As you mentioned, some guests from Mexico. We had other high-ranking distributors from Mexico. Lilia Sevilla traveled in, who's an A12 from the far reaches of southeastern Mexico, Tabasco. And she actually was one of our presenters. And then we had other Mexican leaders travel in as well. So you know, want to thank them formally for traveling up. And then you know, all of our English speakers, you guys just did a great job. I think some of my favorite parts of Saturday were the panels, listening to people who are new to the business, relatively new to the business, and sharing their successes and what they've done and what they're currently doing. And I can't start naming names because I'll get myself into trouble, but there were some really great presentations. And that was really the highlight for me. That was, we finished July with a bang. And now in August, I think we're feeling the results of that. Our numbers this month, just over last month, are significantly higher than what they were on this same date in July. And so kudos to all of you who are really digging in and running hard. Something that I've been talking a lot about lately, David, on different Zooms that I'm on is, we have to treat August like we treat December. I would say November and December, and even January, which is sometimes when we have vacations, we have holidays, we have family events. The way to mitigate that a downturn in volume is make sure you have this you're scheduling in advance what you're going to do. So you've got your calendar filled, you're planning in advance. You say that, okay, even if I'm going to be gone, I'm still going to do this Zoom, or I'm still going to do this presentation, or even though I might be traveling, I'm still going to attend virtually, and just make sure that you're filling your calendar as we close the month of August, because we would love to maintain this high level of volume that we're seeing right now in August all the way through the end. I want to talk a little bit more about August, but I think I'm going to take a break and throw it back to you, David, and ask you what you're excited about for the month of August.
Well, just to kind of piggyback off what you're talking about, those presentations were awesome, and listening to those people who everyone talked about their journey thus far in ACTIVZ. They weren't all the same, but there certainly were some similarities. I think everyone talked about the fact that they were very excited. They loved the science. They loved the products. Many of them, actually, I think everyone spoke about personal experiences that they had with, from a health standpoint, from the products. But also they talked about maybe some unexpected benefits in terms of personal growth, new friendships, the ability to overcome traits that they thought were pretty ingrained in them that they might not ever overcome, and now they are, and they're discovering that they really do have wings, and they are flying and doing things that, frankly, they and the people that knew them, that thought they knew them best, could never have imagined them doing, and that is really remarkable. So it was awesome. So now that we're in August, my wife always gets mad at me. She says, well, you say that you hate July, and my birthday's in July, so that must mean you hate my birthday. So no, that's not really how the logic train really works there. I love your birthday, I love you, but I'm not that big of a fan of July. And she goes, and you love August because your birthday is in August, and football season is starting in August and all that kind of thing. I said, well, okay, all of that is true. That logic applies. But, in terms of where we're going, you're talking about, your kids getting ready to go back to school. It kind of dates me because my grandkids are getting ready to go back to school, and I just celebrated. I'm not going to keep calling it my birthday. I think I'm going to start referring it to my anniversary. In this particular case, the anniversary of my 40th birthday. Now, I'm not going to tell you what anniversary of my 40th birthday I just celebrated. It's well into the double digits, but August is getting off to a great start. It's awesome, and people are running hard. They are treating it like a long month with lots of which it is with many days. They're treating it as an opportunity to take advantage of some of the promotions. I know you'll talk about more to increase not only their immediate financial situation by virtue of the extra monies that we're offering, but to increase the likelihood that they'll qualify for Cancun and be able to go because there's points available there, and all these things. I think people are just really saying, man, this is the time to run. I want to do this, and we're seeing it happen across the board. Yeah, absolutely. Well, dovetailing on what you just talked about with Cancun and think about Planet Hollywood, I do wish we were going there right now. I feel like I could use a vacation. Planet Hollywood is an amazing all-inclusive resort. I really hope everybody watching this is planning on really
really digging in and making it happen for yourselves. You won't regret it. You'll love it. And it's far more than just a trip, right? We're going to pay for everything, and you get to be with, all the top achievers of our company, really. And that's the value. And like you talked about, David, we're doubling the point value this month, and only this month in August. So I don't want anyone to think that this is going to be extended into September or October. It's not. It's this month, right? We're doubling the value of qualified enrollments only for August, and then we're also paying more. So for those of you who are new and you maybe don't know what I'm talking about, or you're not planning on trying to get to Cancun on the incentive trip, just know that for every 2 enrollments, 200 PV or more, instead of earning $80, which is 20% of the fast start value, you're going to earn $100. So we're going to throw in $20 more on every 2. And so, if you were to extrapolate that out and just enroll 2 people a day, you'd earn $3,000 for the month. Well, actually, no, you'd earn closer to $4,000 because you qualify for the 500 Club twice, earning an extra $500 each time. So I don't know if any of you are up to that, but that's what you have on the table for you. But at least enroll 2 people, right? Invite 2 people to join you in your business, 2 people that are kind of like you, somewhat entrepreneurial, are interested in the wellness industry, are interested in working for themselves and carving out their own little piece of market share in this ever expanding wellness category. So that's what it takes. Just find 2 people this month, and we're going to kick in an extra $20 and pay you $100 rather than $80. And if you enroll 4 people, we'll do it again. 6 people. So we'll do it on every 2 enrollments during the month of August. Switching gears. So that's just as a reminder for what we have happening in August. I'll tell you what I'm excited about. And David, you and I have been talking about this. We talked about it before the Zoom, in fact. But lately, I've been spending time doing some Zooms with some teams that we call them boot camps. They're really not boot camps. They're just Zooms where I meet with different teams and we set goals, and I get to hear from them what's working, what's not working, and we share some business tips and best practices, do a little bit of training. But lately we have a lot of new people joining us. And David, I know you've talked about some really cool stories of some successes that folks are having here in the United States. And I do want to give a shout out to a couple new teams that are joining us, one out in Bakersfield, California, and another one down in Las Vegas. Now we have some seasoned vets with us in Las Vegas, and I want to say hello to all of you too, and then to all the new people that we have coming on there that I've been meeting in some of these boot camps. And one message that I've been sharing with them is just the message around treating this like a business, right? Sometimes, and I'm gonna say we, whether we're founders of the company, executives in the company, leaders in the company, or brand new distributors in the company, sometimes we all tend to overcomplicate what it is that we're doing in ACTIVZ, right? Now, obviously, from a product perspective, what's foundational to our company, why David and I wanted to start this company, is we had an opportunity with some scientists who we've worked with for years, right, to bring some new technology, some new epigenetic technology to market that didn't exist, right? So the only and best way to do that is by starting a company, right, to make it available to everybody, as many people as we can reach out to. But beyond our epigenetic technology that we see really making a huge difference in the wellness and the health of and the quality of life of everybody that's using these products, and don't get me started, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of incredible testimonials that we are hearing and that we've been hearing since we launched the company. But the other offering that we have, the other part of ACTIVZ, it is the business opportunity. Now, I mentioned a second ago that we tend to complicate things. So I don't want to complicate it right now as I'm explaining to you how we tend to complicate things. But when we talk about how to make money here for each of you as an independent as an independent distribution franchise, or as an independent distributor, or an independent contractor, whatever you want to call yourself. We call you independent distributors, but we sometimes complicate how to get started. What do you do in your first 90 days? Do you download the app? Do you memorize presentations? Do you follow scripts? Who do you talk to? How do you market? How do you do online marketing? How do you understand how to make money with a compensation plan? Well, let me just say this. What I've been having success with lately, and is resonating with some people, is just talking to them about pretend like you're starting a new job, not a new company, a new job, working for someone. And that someone says, okay, what I want you to do is I want you to spend 8 hours a day, and feel free to take a break and have lunch, but 8 hours a day contacting people, finding out if they're interested in health and wellness, and whether or not they're interested in generating income for themselves, right? Those two things. And if you have a script, follow a script. But what I've been doing on these boot camps, we're talking about that, and we're just talking about, okay, if someone did that and they started to treat this like a business, and they don't have to be experts, but they're just contacting people, inviting them to try the product, inviting them to stick their toes in the pool, right? Just try it out. That maybe you could successfully sell or market 2 business packs a day, right? 200 PV, right? A wellness kit or an epigenetic kit, any of those packs. Maybe you could do 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 or 6, maybe even a premier pack or premium pack. If you did that, then think about how many people would be paying their bills, would be getting out of debt, would be carving out their own eventual retirement for themselves. And I feel like we do complicate it because sometimes we don't see the forest through the trees, right? We get lost thinking about dynamic compression and balance, and how many legs do I have to have, and what is superoxide dismutase, and can I take the products when I eat breakfast, or should I wait until, right? We complicate things. Just share what you're excited about, share why you're involved and what you're excited about accomplishing in ACTIVZ with other people. And I'm willing to bet you'll find some people just like you who would be excited about the same thing, and invite them to join you. When you do that, you're going to make a little money, and you're going to learn a little bit, and you're going to continue to learn, and you're going to continue to grow. And we benefit from what we call on-the-job training, right? So again, here the challenge and invitation that I want to issue everybody in the month of August: take advantage of the extra money that we're paying out on enrollments, right? Take advantage of the fact that we're doubling the enrollment value, or the value for enrollments to qualify for the incentive trip. But don't complicate it. Keep it simple. Treat it like a business, and it'll pay you like a business. If you treat it like a hobby, it'll pay you like a hobby. One of my hobbies is playing golf. And guess how much money I make from playing golf? About that much. And I have to pay a lot of money if I play golf, right? But if you treat it like a business, eventually this is going to pay you like a business. So just that small shift in mindset can make a big, big difference. And if you're not already doing it, start right now. Let the month of August be that catalyst for you to just kind of up your game and start benefiting, right? Start earning more money from what we have here in ACTIVZ. And so that's what I'm excited about. And that's the challenge that I'm going to issue everybody with. So David, I'll throw it back to you.
Well, that's great advice, Ryan. It reminds me of an experience I had today. My wife had another appointment. So she said, listen, you need to be at the house at 1 o'clock because I have somebody coming over to tune the piano. I said, okay, I think I can handle that. And so, of course, I almost didn't handle it because I was on a Zoom call myself. And so this man comes to the door, and he was a short, and if I can say that somebody's short, they are short, right? They're shorter than me, stocky, not particularly well dressed. He had some physical difficulties. It was actually kind of hard for him to walk. I can't really tell how old he was, but he probably was in his 60s, I'm guessing. Spoke with an accent and what appeared to be a Russian accent. And then he kind of confirmed that by saying his name was Dmitry. And he said, I'm here to tune your piano. I said, that's great. Here it is. Go ahead. And so I could hear in the background, because I'd heard people tuning our piano before, you know, they'll play a note and then they'll make some adjustments and play a note and do some things. And I thought, okay, well, he probably has a pretty good ear and he's got an instrument that he's tuning it to and all that kind of stuff. And, but, you know, I have to say, I wouldn't say that I'd formed a lot of judgments about what his capabilities were. I just assumed he probably knew how to tune a piano. I assumed that that's probably not something that he's making a ton of money doing, but maybe he really just likes to play, you know, likes to tune pianos. Well, it took him about, oh, I don't know, about an hour and a half to tune the piano. And then all of a sudden, I hear this beautiful music that never comes forth from our piano, because none of us can play the piano that well to make music sound that good. But it just sounds like you're in a concert hall. And I go in and there's this guy just playing it like a virtuoso. I mean, he really is skilled. And so it reminded me that we should never judge whether someone has the capability to do anything, because most people will surprise us, will surprise ourselves. And so there's a lesson in that, in terms of when we go out and we try to introduce the company and the business opportunity and even the products to people by predetermining whether we think that it's good for them or not. Just share it with everybody and you'll be surprised. Number two, it got me thinking about, I later after he left, I actually went to the company's website and it had bios. Turns out that Dmitry got a master's in music from the University of Moscow. He's not only a talented violinist and or piano player, but a violinist, a clarinetist, a vocalist. And this guy's unbelievably talented. But I can tell you that having taken piano lessons myself as a kid, that he didn't get that way by not practicing. He didn't get that way by doing things that, I'm sure he had talent and it probably came easier to him than it did to me, but I'm sure there are a lot of rudimentary things. He had to practice his scales. He had to start out with songs that were boring and not that much fun, and he had to stick with it. And it just reminds me of how many of us, whether it be playing the piano, playing golf, trying to pick up anything, you know, the end result, where we see other people who are very accomplished, looks very attractive. And we think, yeah, I want that. And then when we look at what it takes to get there, we start out really excited, and then the bloom comes off the rose and we're like, oh man, I don't want to have to do this again. I don't want to have to sit down. I'd rather be out playing with my friends. I'd rather be out doing this and doing things that I'm comfortable. And we settle back into a kind of a comfort zone. And time goes by, and then we just say, yeah, well, I guess I'll give up. And I really think that is the fundamental reason why people don't succeed in things that they start and then they stop, because that gratification takes a while to get there. If it's really worth it and really has value and meaning to it, it's not going to be easy. It's going to require discipline and consistent, repetitive actions done on a frequent basis. And that's not always fun. That's not always easy. And our attention span isn't always that great. But what I can tell you is it's just like that guy, you know, became, you know, I don't know if you'd call him world class, but compared to me, he's certainly a world-class pianist, and did it through a lot of years and years of dedicated effort. Everyone that I know that has currently succeeded to any degree here at ACTIVZ, or virtually anything else that I know about, has done it by following the same pattern. They look at what's been a proven method of success. They've learned from others and from teachers who have gone on before them and know what they're talking about. And then they do it, and they do it over and over, and they do it every single day, even though it's not that much fun all the time. But then the other thing is, it's kind of like exercising when the endorphins kick in and all of a sudden it feels better after being really tough. All of a sudden, you start finding that success. You have a day where, oh, whoa, that thing really seemed to come together for me. And somebody said yes instead of 10 people telling me no. And now I've been thanked by this family for the benefit that they got, or the fact that they are now able to make their car payment. And now all of a sudden, what seemed incredibly hard is now fun. And is you know, the thing that we call work has now become play. And so I guess that's just something that's really stood out to me, and there's no better example of that than one of the people that was at our event in Salt Lake City, Roy Bolsky, who is one of our oldest distributors, maybe our oldest in the US, 86 years old. He's told everybody that, so I don't think I'm breaking any confidences there. But you know, Roy made the 500 Club last month. He had 7 enrollments just in the month of July. And he's just decided that he's going to do this, and he's going to share with everyone. And he's old enough that he doesn't have to worry about what people think. And, and we should all be so lucky to just do it regardless of what people think, because he has a strong conviction, having seen the benefits in his life when people left, almost literally left him for dead after COVID. And he attributes the trifecta to bringing him back, and not only back, but better than ever, with more energy and more confidence and more optimism and enthusiasm than even he had before. And I hope that that's a lesson that I can learn from and pattern. And I share that with everybody, because I think it's a great way to view not only this business, but just life generally. So on that note, Ryan, that's all I've got for tonight. But we think about you always. We pray for you daily. We're here to help you every chance we've got, and we just wish everyone the success and look forward to hearing about all your stories.
All right, great. Thank you so much, David, and thank you for sharing that great story. I think that I've shared enough for this evening as well. Wish all of you the very best August that you could possibly have. Make sure that you're really treating this seriously. You know, we talk a lot about what creates success, and sometimes we feel like, you know, we talk until we're blue in the face. And I think this evening we're both wearing blue shirts and starting to make its way up to our faces here. But really what determines ultimate success are the habits that we have. I've got a quote on my wall, and I turn my camera around if my office was a little bit more orderly, but it says, people don't decide their future, they decide their habits. Their habits decide their future. I'm a huge believer in that. And I, again, along with the other challenges that have been issued this evening, please make sure that you're looking at what habits you have in your life. Are they habits that are going to get you closer to your ultimate goals, or are they habits that are, you know, pushing you farther away? We're not going to get there. You're not going to get to the top. You're not going to get to A16 just because you say you want it, or I think the whole world, if they knew what an A16 earned, would say that they want it and that they're deserving of it. But very few people ever will attain that level of success, because you do have to actually go in and change your habits, right? What are you doing first thing in the morning? How early are you getting up? Are you caring about your body, investing in yourself? Are you training your mind? Are you interesting yourself in others? Are you prioritizing their needs and working from that basis point? And here at ACTIVZ, that's how you get to the top, right? Really serve others, lock arms with them, help enough people get what they want, and you'll get what you want. And that's how work gets done here. So make sure that you are working on your habits, reverse engineer those goals so you can get to where you want to by the end of this year. We're 5 months left in the year. It's not too late to reach some lofty goals. Many of you are 0 and you want to get, none of you are zeros, but starting from 0 here at ACTIVZ and you want to get to A12, it's not too late. Just plan it out and make sure you're setting a course to reach that goal. So all that said, thank you so much, David. Thank you. It's great to see you again, as always. And we will see you all same time, same place next month, the 15th of September. We'll see you very soon. We wish you the very best of success and blessings to everybody. And we'll see you very soon. And we'll see you at the top. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.
Perfect. See you later.